and also taking decisions in a timely manner, and also actually creating committees in the form of OC or the overseeing committees to enable decision making. So as I see it, this will actually expedite the process of resolution of assets. It will actually create a time-bound resolution, possible. So in that sense, I think this is a very, very important step towards resolution of assets. And it has been clearing certain cases, but the jurisdiction of that OC is really restricted to what we call the S4A scheme. And not many companies fit under the S4A scheme. So with this, what will happen is that actually various kinds of restructurings should now be actually, we have to of course wait for the RBI guidelines to come, but what is expected is that larger types of restructuring schemes, various types of resolutions can come under the jurisdiction of OC, and that means many different types of schemes can actually get cleared.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, I just want to understand जो आज RBI को जितने powers government ने दिए हैं 6 लाख करोड़ की बात कर रहे हैं पूरे NPA, आपके हिसाब से इन सारी चीजों को एक्ट आने में रूल बना दिए गए हैं, टीम्स डेवलप की जाएंगी एंड देयर विल बी अ ग्राउंड प्लेइंग फील्ड. तो आपके हिसाब से टाइम कितना लगेगा ये पूरी NPA प्रॉब्लम को रिजॉल्व करने में?
Well, NPA प्रॉब्लम आई थिंक आज हमें ये सोचना चाहिए कि NPA प्रॉब्लम का रेजोल्यूशन प्रोसेस शुरू हो जाए. आई थिंक वो इटसेल्फ एक बड़ा स्टेप रहेगा, क्योंकि कुछ महीनों से या कपल ऑफ इयर्स से एक्चुअली डिसीजंस काफ़ी कम आ रहे थे बैंक्स के इन अ कोऑर्डिनेटेड मैनर, एंड इसलिए जो फोकस था वो रियली NPA रिकग्निशन पर था और रेजोल्यूशंस नहीं हो रहे थे. तो इससे एक किक स्टार्ट मिलेगा एंटायर रेजोल्यूशन प्रोसेस को. ऑफ कोर्स फुल रेजोल्यूशन में हमेशा टाइम लगता है, बट एटलीस्ट जब रेजोल्यूशन का एक स्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट हो जाता है और कंपनी उस रेजोल्यूशन पाथ पर आ जाती है, फ्रॉम देन देयर इज ओनली एन इम्प्रूवमेंट.
And do you expect that the RBI will also come forward with some more easing for tools like the S4A, because you mentioned we need to bring in more accounts under its purview. So any expectations of that sort?
See, actually it's really not the matter of coming up with more tools. I think we have actually many tools at our disposal, and what over and above all these tools, what we have at our disposal is a broad restructuring scheme. What is really required is that if RBI kind of expands the jurisdiction of the OC and empowers the OCs to see or look at all these various forms of restructuring, including any broad restructuring that is possible. I think that is really the more important thing, because with that the banks will feel more comforted in taking decisions. And the second more important thing, or equally important thing, is to say that once decisions are taken, banks should really just commit to implement that decision. And that is the other thing that this ordinance empowers RBI to direct the banks to do that.
And the constitution of these OCs will be, of course, what will be in focus now, because that has become very important when they will be taking these calls. Any considerations from any that you think that should be in focus?
No, I think constitution is an easier matter actually. What is really important is that we do create enough number of OCs so that they are able to handle these cases in a timely manner. So the important thing is to create more OCs, to have enough number of people on the OCs, and to widen the jurisdiction of OCs. I think finding the right people in India, we have tremendous experience and depth of knowledge, and RBI will be able to find people.
What would be an adequate number in your opinion?
Well, it's really we need to create really a substantially more number of people. Today we have really only 2 people on the entire OC structure, so we really need to increase that many-fold, because as I see it, there are lots of cases that are really ready for working out a resolution.
Ma'am, a couple of questions. What we're also picking up on this entire person, I think a couple of them will be tied with the enabling factors that came through the ordinance, is that there's likely to be a time-bound manner within which a certain number of accounts, say 40 or 50 large accounts, will have to be dealt with by the banks, and if not, an RBI committee will then take a call and that will be the veto decision essentially on those accounts. Is that something that?
Well, as I see it, the more important thing to focus on in the time-bound region is to say that once a scheme is formulated, all the banks should decide on it and implement it in a time-bound manner. Today, what happens is that the schemes are there, so it doesn't really, it's not about not having the scheme. But after that, either the banks don't take decisions, they meet in the joint lenders forum, decisions are not taken, or even if decisions are not taken, many banks don't approve it. And then even if a large number of banks approve it, if 100% of the banks don't approve it, the scheme can move nowhere. So I think what is important in the time-bound manner is not to say that, pick up all the top 50 cases and do it immediately. I think that the banks anyway would be very eager to do. But what is more important is to say that, not just create a scheme, but take it to its logical end in a time-bound manner. And I think what this ordinance in a way empowers RBI also to say is that if the banks have decided, then actually they can direct the banks to implement it in a time-bound manner.
The reason I asked ma'am about capital is because if you look at the joint lenders forum and the participants in these various consortia, there are certain banks that are much weaker obviously, and they have to now, going by this decision, go by several measures that will be pushed through, and there will be a situation where they'll fall short of capital. But the reason I ask that is because are we going to look at this as a start of what could become a consolidation in the banking space, where smaller banks could sort of be amalgamated?
Well, there are lots of possibilities and lots of implications, but I think right now the bigger and the most important fallout of this or the consequence of this and the positive consequence of this ordinance is that this can really kickstart resolution. I think the others are going to be, other consequences, but this can kickstart resolution, and that is what the country needs today.
Do you expect that it will also kickstart, credit once more, and other banks will be more confident, or do we need some more signals for that?
No, I think credit really is dependent on the activity that is taking place in the various segments, and we've seen that on the retail side, whether it's housing loans, car loans, etc., they have been growing in a healthy manner. In any case, we've seen that working capital requirements of the companies have gone up, where those standard assets where actually the capacity utilizations are going up, so those have gone up. We are also seeing that as a result of government spends and government contracts, there are various companies that are getting either contracts or subcontracts and so on. So I think that really is, as the economic activity keeps moving, I think credit moves on that in that manner. But yes, resolution of stressed assets frees up capital in that sense and so on. But what is more important is the resolution itself is a very important consequence. That's the point I'm trying to say. Thank you.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/ETNow.